All right, let's jump right in, shall we? Today, we're diving into the world of cricket, but with a
The
twist.
twist indeed.
We're talking about Stephen Taylor, an American athlete making waves on the international cricket scene.
Fascinating story.
You sent over some info on him, and I gotta say,
Oh, yeah.
this is one for the books.
Yeah, Taylor's story, it really challenges what we think of when we hear American sports.
Right. Like when you think American
You
sports,
think baseball.
baseball, football,
Of course, yeah.
but cricket, not so much.
Not usually the first thing that comes to mind.
Exactly. Now, Taylor, he's from Florida,
Interesting.
Sunshine State, right. And get this, his parents are Jamaican.
So that explains it.
So he grew up immersed in that West Indian cricketing culture.
Makes sense.
While his buddies were out playing Little League, he's honing his skills with a bat and ball.
I mean, talk about early exposure.
Exactly.
Right.
And the source mentions he debuted for the U.S. senior team at 14. Oh, 14. Most kids that age, they're worried about, like, getting their driver's permit.
Yeah. Not facing down professional bowlers.
Seriously, 14. You have to wonder, what kind of pressure on a young player at that level?
Right.
That definitely speaks to his raw talent
You gotta have it.
and the early support he must have had.
Absolutely. To be playing at that level, that young.
That's believable, right?
Yeah, the
And
dedication
the family support.
must have been incredible.
Okay, so fast forward to 2015. Things get really interesting here.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor scores the first century for an American in a T20 international match.
Wow.
Now, for our listeners who might not be super familiar with cricket,
Yeah.
can you break down what makes a century so special?
Okay, so imagine like hitting a home run,
Okay,
but way harder.
way harder.
A century means scoring 100 runs in a single innings.
Whoa.
Huge accomplishment in any format of cricket, but especially in T20.
Why is that?
Well, because T20 cricket, it's all about fast-paced action.
Oh, I see.
The matches are shorter,
Gotcha.
which means batsmen have less time to rack up those runs.
So to hit a century in a T20,
You got to be aggressive and
aggressive.
really connect with the ball.
Really connect. So picture this. The U.S. is playing against Oman in the ICC World T20 qualifiers.
Big game.
The pressure is on.
Yeah.
And Taylor just explodes onto the scene.
Yeah.
Leads his team to victory with an unbeaten score of 101 runs.
I mean, talk about an adrenaline rush.
That's got to be unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah.
It's like a defining moment, not just for him,
Yeah,
but for American cricket.
absolutely.
Puts the U.S. on the map.
Yeah, a statement to the world.
And it put the International Cricket Council, the ICC, on notice.
Right.
Now, the source also talks about him being the youngest U.S. player to reach 1,000 runs in Lista cricket,
Right,
which is another format of the game.
right.
Can you explain that one to our listeners?
Sure. Think of listed cricket as sort of like a one-day game. It's longer than T20, but shorter than traditional test matches, which can go on for days.
Okay, got it. So
Yeah,
Taylor's racking up achievements across all these different formats,
right,
consistently leading the U.S. in run scoring at various ICC tournaments.
right.
On top of all that, he's also participating in some big-name T20 leagues, like the Caribbean Premier League,
Oh, wow.
the CPL.
The CPL, yeah.
What's the significance of playing in leagues like that?
Well, the CPL, it's like the major leagues of T20 cricket.
Really?
You're playing with some of the best in the world.
Wow.
Guys who've been playing the sport their entire lives.
So he's not only competing at an incredibly high level,
Right.
but he's also gaining, like, valuable experience
Absolutely.
and exposure on this global stage.
Exactly. Raises his profile, attracts sponsors.
I mean, it's like he's become an ambassador for the sport in the U.S.
Absolutely. He really has. And it goes beyond his batting skills, too.
Oh, yeah.
The source mentions he's also the vice captain of the U.S. team,
That's right.
which, speaks volumes about his leadership
Yeah.
and quality.
And he's not just a one-trick pony either.
No, no.
He's played in both fast-paced T20s
Right.
and those more strategic, like, one-day internationals.
Right.
And get this, he could even step in as a wicketkeeper when needed.
Now, wicket keeping, that's like the catcher in baseball.
Oh, okay.
Requires lightning fast reflexes and, tactical awareness.
Wow.
The fact that he can fill that role
Yeah.
shows incredible versatility.
So he's like
He's a Swiss Army knife.
a Swiss Army knife for the U.S. team.
Yeah.
Can he do laundry too?
I don't know about that.
Just kidding. But seriously, having a player like that,
Yeah.
it's got to be a huge asset,
Huge asset.
especially for a developing cricket nation
Absolutely.
like the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's especially impressive when you think about the challenges
Yeah,
he's faced, right?
absolutely.
Building a career in a sport that's not exactly mainstream here
You're right.
in the
Yeah.
U.S.
The source touches on some of those hurdles, like
Yeah.
maintaining consistency in a developing cricket ecosystem.
Right, and just the lack of, established infrastructure.
Exactly.
There's not a cricket field on every corner in
Yeah.
America.
These are things most athletes in, like traditional American sports, never even have to think about.
Exactly.
So how has Taylor stayed so focused
Right.
and driven in the face of all that?
Yeah, it has to be more than just talent, right?
Right? You need resilience.
Resilience.
And an unwavering commitment, a real fire in your belly,
Absolutely.
He's not letting these setbacks define him.
No.
Instead, he's using them to push himself further.
This is where Taylor's story becomes more than just about cricket, right?
Right.
It's about defying expectations.
Yeah,
Craving your own path.
absolutely.
Having that grit,
You need it to keep going.
even when things get tough.
Yeah.
He's a powerful role model for, aspiring athletes.
Showing them that passion and dedication can take you far. Even if you're playing a sport that's not in the mainstream spotlight.
It's a great lesson
It is.
for everyone, really. Yeah, it makes you think
It does.
about what's possible
Yeah.
when you just set your mind to something.
Absolutely.
Some folks, they might see those challenges and just give up,
Right, but Taylor,
But Taylor,
well, he seems to thrive on them.
he does.
Yeah,
It's like fuel for the fire,
it is.
and it's paying off.
Oh, yeah.
Not just for him,
No,
but for American cricket as a whole.
right.
The source mentions Major League Cricket,
MLC,
MLC.
this could be huge.
It sounds like things are really starting to take shape.
It does, yeah.
Now, for someone who's, say, more familiar with baseball,
Okay.
how would you compare the two?
Good question.
I know they both involve bats and balls,
Yeah, they're like
but cousins.
cousins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but with distinct personalities.
Okay, think of baseball as like the power hitter,
Okay.
focused on home runs,
Home runs.
stolen bases. Cricket,
Well,
though, it's more
yeah.
like a chess match.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's strategic, different formats,
Okay.
demanding different approaches.
So it's not just about, hitting the ball as hard as you can.
No, there's nuance to it.
There's a mental game
Well,
involved.
definitely.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
So Taylor excels at both,
he does.
which is,
It's
again,
impressive.
really impressive.
Yeah,
But even with his success, the emergence of MLC,
yeah.
some people might still be skeptical
Oh, sure.
about cricket's potential
Yeah.
here in the U.S.
Right.
What would you say to those skeptics?
I get it. I
Yeah.
understand the skepticism.
Yeah.
But I think they're underestimating a few things.
Like what?
The power of exposure, a growing fan base.
Right.
The U.S. has this large,
Yeah.
diverse population.
Very diverse.
A lot of people from cricket-loving countries.
That's true.
So there's already a built-in audience.
Right.
And with things like MLC, that audience is only going to grow.
It's like a snowball effect.
It is.
Right. You get more people watching,
Yeah.
more young athletes getting inspired,
That investment.
more investment in the sport.
Exactly.
And let's not forget
Yeah.
the upcoming ICC T20 World Cup,
Huge.
which the U.S. is co-hosting
I know, right?
in 2024,
Can you believe it?
having a major international tournament
Right.
on U.S. soil.
It's a big deal.
This is huge.
Huge.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Millions of people around the world,
Are going to be watching.
they'll be seeing
They'll see.
that the U.S. is serious about cricket.
Exactly.
This could be a turning point,
We
right?
could, yeah.
Like the 1994 FIFA World Cup was for soccer
Right.
in the U.S.
Back then.
Back then, soccer wasn't exactly
No.
mainstream.
That World Cup.
That World Cup changed everything.
brought a surge of interest, investment.
And look at soccer now.
It's one of the fastest growing sports in the country.
Cricket has that potential
It does.
to follow a similar path.
I think so.
So with all these developments, Taylor's success,
Yeah.
MLC, the upcoming World Cup,
Yeah.
it seems like American cricket is
On the verge of something big.
on the verge of something big.
Yeah.
What role do you think Taylor will play in all of this?
Well, I think he'll continue to be a leader
A leader,
and a role model.
a role model,
He's living proof that Americans can not only play cricket at a high level,
right?
but also inspire others to do the same.
Yeah.
He's breaking down barriers,
Breaking down barriers.
paving the way for,
Yeah,
a new generation of American cricketers.
that's powerful.
It is.
And with his experience playing in those international leagues,
Right.
he brings this like
A global perspective.
a global perspective
Yeah,
that can help shape the development of the sport
absolutely.
here in the U.S.
He's like a bridge.
It's like he's bridging the gap
Yeah.
between American sports culture
Right.
and the world of cricket.
A bridge builder.
A bridge builder. I like that.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him take on like a coaching role
Coach.
or a mentoring role in the future.
Right.
You know, passing on his knowledge, experience to younger players.
I mean, that would be amazing
It would.
to have someone like Taylor
Yeah.
with his international experience
Right.
guiding the next generation
Think about the possibilities.
of American cricketers.
It's exciting.
It is exciting. You know, it's amazing
Yeah.
how one person's journey
Yeah.
can really, like, I don't know, capture the spirit.
Capture the
Like
spirit.
a whole movement.
Yeah. Taylor's story, it's not just about cricket, is it?
No, it's about the power of following your passions, even when
Even when they're not.
they're not the obvious choice, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and about challenging those preconceived notions.
Right. He could have easily gone down that traditional American sports route,
Totally.
but he saw something different.
He did.
Something he was drawn to.
It really makes you think, like,
Yeah.
what if he had,
Struck.
with baseball or basketball,
Right.
would American cricket be where it is today?
Who knows?
It's like those what if moments in history.
Yeah. It's impossible to say for sure. But his impact.
His impact is undeniable.
Absolutely.
He's brought, like, a level of attention
Yeah.
and excitement to American cricket
Exciting.
that might not have existed otherwise.
Yeah. And it's not just his talent on the field either.
No, it's his resilience.
It's his dedication.
That's something that resonates with people,
It does.
whether they're cricket fans or not.
Absolutely. It's about pushing boundaries.
Pushing boundaries,
Mhm.
overcoming obstacles.
Staying true to your vision.
Yeah.
Those are qualities that inspire,
Totally.
anyone in any field.
So, for our listener who maybe isn't a, like, diehard sports fan,
Yeah.
what do you think is the takeaway
Take away.
from Taylor's story? What can they apply to their own lives?
Well, I think it's a good reminder
Yeah.
that sometimes the most fulfilling paths
Yeah.
are the ones less traveled.
The ones less traveled.
Yeah.
Loves
It's
you.
about having the courage
Yeah.
to pursue your passions, even when
Even when
they seem, unconventional.
unconventional,
Challenging.
It's about
Not being afraid to be different.
not being afraid to be
To
different,
stand out.
to stand out, to
To
be
be a trailblazer.
trailblazer,
Right.
and to embrace those challenges
Embrace the challenge.
as opportunities for growth.
Because often it's in those, moments of struggle,
Come
right?
on, those tough times.
That we really,
That's when we discover
discover our true strength.
our resilience.
Our resilience, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive.
Yeah. Into the world of Stephen Taylor
Mhm.
and American cricket.
It's been a journey.
It has.
I want to leave our listeners with a thought.
Yeah. What's that?
What's that one thing you've always wanted to pursue,
Yeah.
but maybe hesitated,
Because it seemed too difficult
Too difficult,
or different.
too different, yeah.
What's holding you back?
Taylor's journey shows us that, anything is possible.
Mm.
Passion, dedication.
And a willingness to step outside that comfort zone.
That's right.
So take that leap of faith.
Embrace the unknown.
Who knows? Maybe someday we'll be featuring your story
You never know.
right here
That's right.
on the Deep Dive.
Until then, keep exploring
Keep learning.
and keep diving deep.